Hello, today I'm going to present a paper, Apply Humanity-Centered Design Process to Envision the Future Learning Experience of Public Area. Use Redesign Shanghai Library Innovation Space Project as an example to 2020 DMI ADMC Conference. Today's presenter is myself, Sheng-Hung from MIT IDM program. My team members are John, Lin, Liangtie, and Professor Deming. We really appreciate our families, DMI, Shanghai Library Innovation Space Team, MIT, MIT H Lab, and people who fully support and sponsor this research project. I'm going to break down the presentation into 4 sections: introduction, literature review, case study, and the key takeaway. This study attempts to redefine the traditional human-centered design thinking method and coin the term humanity-centered design approach, which consists of an inclusive framework, co-creation methods, and a comprehensive way of viewing the creative research process. In short, the purpose of the approach is to design with care. The whole research and design process took minority groups, including the elderly, the children, the disabled, as well as the majority users, into key considerations, and designed relevant layers of their engagement accordingly. A humanity-centered approach has enhanced design element in space, so much so that knowledge, education, and innovation opportunities can be found everywhere and come in the context of dialogues rather than just existing in the physical environment. Here are some keywords: humanity-centered design, human-centered design, design thinking, design for social impact, Shanghai Library, participatory design, innovation space. The keywords are all interconnected, interrelated, and represent the essence of the study. Chapter 1, Introduction. In the study, we introduce concept of humanity-centered design, which is based on the structure of human-centered design by adding 3 engaging layers: individual layer, community layer, and society layer. We also discussed the importance of humanity-centered design in the context of traditional design thinking process. We used the case study, Redesigning the Shanghai Library Innovation Space, to illustrate the concepts. Chapter 2, Literature Review. According to IDEO's definition, human-centered design is about cultivating deep empathy with the people you're designing for, generating ideas, building the bunch of prototypes, sharing what you've made with the people you're designing for, and eventually putting your innovative new solution out in the world. In a study, the team adapted the model created by ideo.org. The x-axis represents a timeline of the project, the y-axis represents the number of ideas, and the curve represents the diverging and converging project journey, including 3 interdependent phases: inspiration, ideation, and implementation. The phase is a mix of mindset and design thinking process. In the study, however, the team defined it as a mindset, which concludes that some key considerations needed to be paid attention to in the process of the project. Table 1 provides a brief definition of each phases. I won't go detail here. In the study, the project team applied humanity-centered design process by adding 3 extra engaging layers: individual, community, and society. It was design experiment. I will explain 3 engaging layers in detail through the following case study. Let's move on to Chapter 3, Case Study. Since its opening to the public in May 2013, the Shanghai Library Innovation Space has been in service for over 7 years. The Shanghai Library Innovation Space has always been the benchmark in the exploration of innovation space for Chinese libraries. Yet, in the face of market change, consumer trade-up, industrial transformation, and technological advances, it has to reposition itself in order to maintain its leading role in the practice of librarian innovation by delivering better experiences for both its users and librarians. A survey of users and librarians highlight the needs to establish a more distinctly defined value proposition, deal with the incompatibility and interconnection interaction between different areas or sections, improve the design to meet the actual needs of users, librarians, enhance librarians' services, and interact with users in more varied forms. In the case study, the project is to redesign user experiences at Shanghai Library Innovation Space, which covers 3 design activities related to humanity-centered design. You could see table 3 above. The gray areas is the activities we're going to design for. So the first one, individual layer, inspiration phase. In this phase, during the inspiration, in the individual layer during the inspiration phase, the team conducted 8 librarian interviews to understand the internal challenges, cultures, and of the organization, and 6 user interviews to identify their pain point and needs. The intention was to listen to the user from different angles, which assisted the team to translate the interview result and observation into 2 comprehensive ideal user journey from the perspective of librarians and users. In the individual layer, the project was inspired by the people the team had interviewed with, the place the team had visited, and the experiences the team had gained. So figure 7, there's 2 types of journey from perspective of librarians and users. It's just one from one touch point. So community layer and ideation phase. In the community layer, the team viewed design as an engaging tool to facilitate the conversation with the users and to take action accordingly. It also helped the team broaden ways to receive information and user needs from the community, and also validate the learnings from the previous individual layers during the inspiration phase. In the community layer during the ideation phase, the team conducted 1 co-creation workshop with around 20 librarians who were responsible for various departments like innovation space team, digital production, digital marketing, and research team. The team also co-worked with 27 university students majoring in industrial design from Fudan University, Shanghai Institute of Visual Arts, to envision the future of the Shanghai Library Innovation Space. The intention was to invite the users, including librarians and college students, to tell their stories and show their needs and expectations through the team guidance by building and participating in the co-creation workshop. In the ideation phase, it reflected the user's pain points and desire collectively in the community layer in order to come up with inclusive solution together. So the last layer, society layer, implementation phase. In the society layer during the implementation phase, the team co-hosted a 2-week exhibition with Shanghai Library Innovation Team to share not only the ideas but also the whole design process with the public to gather suggestions on the design concepts. The exhibition was open to the public for free. By the end of the exhibition, the design resonated with the people, and our team received a great amount of feedback from Shanghai Library, parents, young couples, high school and college students, retired citizens, and visitors. After the exhibition, the team made a second round concept refinement with Shanghai Library Innovation Team by adding the feedback received from the public. The intention was to cover most user needs from the library and users in the context of the broader society before the project went into the production and implementation phase. In the society layer, what the team wanted was not to implement the design result, but instead to make an invisible social impact through the right implementation. The following 5 learning points were the design highlight. They reflected the value of the humanity-centered design. I won't go through each point, but we'll share some examples to illustrate the design highlight. Map out the journey of users and librarians. So this is like the journey map for in the lens of users and in the lens of librarians. Second one, establish a customized platform and courses. So basically, we also think about what are the tools could help librarians to kind of design to kind of cultivate a better user experiences. This is like learning helpers. And the third point, create new rules for librarians to empower users. Also think about a new possibility to create a new rules in the library, in the innovation space. So for example, one of the new rules we call like enabler. Why we need this rule? What's the purpose of this rule? And who's going to be this rule? Like what's the requirement of the rule, right? And what kind of service they're going to offer. The fourth point, set up the environment, design principles, and design. We think bunch of like design principles like for the space and environment, and think about like use that to guide us to design better experiences. And also apply to the different zones of the space. So this is environment design highlight. There's the zones and furniture. And this is one of the furniture design highlight. We call like storytelling corner. And different zone, different configuration, different areas. And the last point, next step for the project. So regarding to the next step for the project, the rest of the design concept in the space needed to be realized to curate the desirable user experiences for readers and librarians, and to meet their need to meet three engaging layers, from individual layers, community layers, and to society layers. So let's summarize the learnings. I will focus on one point like point 3. Humanity-centered design is to create with care because of time. So first one, humanity-centered design is an awareness and action. Humanity-centered design is a participatory design process. In this case study, the project team played a role of a creative enabler. The idea of this participatory nature lies in the inclusiveness of design, one of the characteristics of the humanity-centered design. The team has learned a lot of invisible and nonverbal behaviors from the users through participatory activities. One of the core values of humanity-centered design is to create with care. To be more specific, the care represents empathy with action that is inclusive. So one of the examples was to redesign the front desk. Usually people view the front desk purely as the furniture of an object. In this study, the team viewed it as a humane touch point to connect with the readers, users, and librarians. So you could see we moved the front desk from the side of the space to the center of the space. So the librarian could like oversee the whole space and people's needs, and like people could always ask for help. It's like visible. Since the new front desk design took the children and people sitting on the wheelchairs into consideration, the lower curve design of the furniture was to create a humane space for people to have an eye contact with librarians when they return or browse the books out of respect. The detail were to show above how the team create a humanity-centered experiences with great care. This is the brief comparison of a human-centered design and humanity-centered design. You can see the differences of the two mindset methodology. And the study is actually a preliminary discussion between two different methods in principle level by presenting one case study related to public learning space experiences design. We think the further research can refine the process of humanity-centered design, as well as provide more detailed instruction on how to apply humanity-centered design to different types of projects. So this is our presentation. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.